Listen, I've noticed that too.
But you know, if you just want to close the conversation, that's fine too. The thing about it for me is all I ask for is that anybody who insists on giving their views and their perspective, their beliefs, their opinions, all I ask is the same mutual respect and decency to allow me to express mine as well. That's it.
Yes.
But you could clearly say, like, let's not have this conversation, but don't hit me with your views and then say, let's not have this conversation, because, you know, that's like a one-sided discussion. That's like, I get to say what I want to say, but you're not allowed to say what you want to say, because
right.
That's all I ask. Like, we don't have to talk about something. That's fine. We could just say, let's just not talk about that, because it's not going to lead to a good conversation. It's not going to lead to anything edifying to either one of us. But my pet peeve is, don't bash me over the head with what you believe and think, and then shut me down, disown me, silence me, cancel me, reject me, hate me, despise me, spite me. You know, the irony in the whole thing is this, is that it's always the people. I find it's always the people that preach love, tolerance, acceptance.
Yes.
Against intolerance, inclusion, you know, being understanding, compassionate, all that stuff. It's always those people that preach that who are the ones that are like they're the most intolerant. As soon as somebody disagrees with them, they're hateful towards those people. They're intolerant. They're unaccepting. They're unloving. They're exclusive. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're inclusive and tolerant and loving and accepting, but only under the condition that you agree with them and their whole belief system, or whatever you want to call it, their opinions.
Met many of those myself too. I know exactly what you're talking of.
And it's like, it is the quintessential example of hypocrisy. It is just like,
oh, the hypocrisy is, yes, big.
Good afternoon, TrollingProphet. Hello. Good morning, TrollingProphet again. Wait, are we getting...
The hypocrisy from those people is ginormous. Can I say that word?
But they don't see it, and they just think like, I don't know, they just don't see it. And maybe that's the thing, is like, you try to show it to them and then they run away and shut you down and won't have the conversation and disown you, call you racist, bigot, homophobe, transphobe, and every other thing. Oh boy, no. Don't tear up on me, buddy. Don't tear up on me.
And all you did was have a different opinion, and you all of a sudden become all of that crap.
Yep.
Just for having your own opinion, different opinion.
Well, yeah. And my opinion is not hateful, and it's not like, I'm not telling anybody I hate you if you're this way, and
nope, you did
or
not.
anything like that, or I don't accept you. Like, I treat everyone the same. You can believe something different than me, and I will treat you just the same, because I don't judge people based on, well, I don't categorize people either. Like, I don't like just the idea of categorizing people as like black people, white people, Spanish people, gay people. Like, I just feel like people are individuals, and not every person's the same. Not every quote unquote black person believes or thinks this way. And the same with, so why do we categorize everybody in these? All right. Oh, sorry, Myers chasing me. I don't know. There's like so much that can be said about it, but it's, the thing is, people that don't want to listen don't want to listen, and that's why they shut you down and they disown you. Like, I don't think I've ever ended a friendship with anyone. And for people to end friendships so easily over like disagreements just amazes me, because it just tells me that the friendship was conditional on their part to begin with. It's only a valid friendship. I only care about you if you meet these particular conditions of what I find acceptable.
Right.
But to me, like, you know, unconditional love is loving somebody no matter what. And, you know, it's the times I would think that's the hardest to do is like, okay, suppose the person's a serial killer. It can be harder to love that person.
Right. That's something I have to stay away from.
But I mean, you know, you could technically. Oh, dude, I'm getting. Oh man, I couldn't get to the locker. I was gonna jump in the locker. Oh, there you go. Toast. It's all right. I got my adept with this dude. I should have taken a screenshot of that on the floor right there. Man, I couldn't get to the locker. He just came out of nowhere. Oh, but look, they did all the gens. Hopefully I'm the only one that got gutted. It's gutted. Or why does it show the gens are done, yet it shows Jill Witch on a gen? She's not on a gen.
That's a glitch that come probably with the new update, as they always have problems and glitches.
Oh, he's got no way out.
That's a glitch that they have to fix, I'm sure.
So this guy's apparently got infinite. Does he? It's not infinite? Maybe it's not infinite. It's just tombstone piece. Days and time is always same everywhere on planet depending where they live. Wait, what? Clock is fascinating thing. Anyway, I mean, I think you get what I'm saying. Yes, and to me, it's just like, you know, the thing is, it bothers me and it hurts when someone just kicks you to the curb. But I'm so used to it happening. Like, it's happened so many times in my life where people that, even people I was like, thought I was really close with, but where people just turn on you and become a different person or treat you differently based on some like insignificant thing, like just, you don't agree with me? Well, you're the devil. And it's just happened so many times in my life that it doesn't surprise me anymore. And I've become like callous towards it, or I'm just like, oh wow, that happened again. Surprise, surprise. Who'd have thought that?
Right.
But, you know, sadly it's happened many times, and in this generation it's just crazy.
Yeah,
with the politics and the, like, it's very divisive. Everything is like, you're either one of us or you're against us. You're either one of us or like, we want to see you get hanged.
It's all about division. Definitely true. It's either you're with us or you're with them, and if you're not with us, then we don't want you. We don't want to be a part of you.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're all about acceptance and love and tolerance and inclusion and loving everyone and never judging anyone for anything whatsoever.
Contradictions, hypocriticals.
I mean, it could be a perverted child molester grooming kids, and we love and accept them. But if you like Donald Trump, you know, you're a Nazi. I don't know.
If you don't like Donald Trump, you're a Nazi then too. There's people that say that too.
Well,
you're against America.
I'm just giving an example of the extremes of like.
And I am saying. I've heard both ways though. If you like Donald Trump, you're a Nazi.
Oh, he just got toast.
If you like Donald Trump, you're a Nazi. If you don't like Donald Trump, you're a Nazi. It's like you can't win. I've heard both things from two different people.
Yeah, there's extremists on both sides.
It's just like, really, you can't win. So if I like him, I can't win. If I don't like him, I can't win. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm just, I'm an advocate of free speech, and there's a fine line. People will say, well, then you're allowed to have hate speech. You know what? everybody calls hate speech something different. Like if you say something that I don't agree with, that's hate speech. Well, no, but free speech, I guess it allows hate speech because, you know, if somebody wants to hate me because I'm whatever, like I'm a guy or my skin is light or whatever the case is, if they want to hate me for that, they're free to hate me for that. And they're free to say that they hate me for that. Now, threatening somebody, that's a little different. You know, like calling violence or like trying to threaten somebody is, I think that goes beyond hate speech. That's actual threats.
Yes, that's actual, not good.
But if someone wants to hate me, they're free to hate me. Like I posted a TikTok that showed my nurse. It was a clip from when I got P100. And it was an old clip from months ago, but I posted it recently. And the comment that I got on it, I got different comments, but one of the comments I got on it was, it just says, I have already blocked you so I don't have to play you. Well, they don't like me and they don't even know me. Just because I have a P100 nurse, they blocked me and don't want to play me. Another person says, are you gonna finally touch grass now? I said, no.
That's the typical response. But you're so good at it that you haven't gone outside and done anything else, but they don't realize that you do other things else.
But, or like on my Steam, right? The comments that are on my Steam, I deleted some because like I left them there a long time. I was like, you know what? Some of these are a little too, like one of them was calling me, what did somebody, I think they called me like a racist and a homophobe or something, which I don't even know where that came from. Is that I never had a conversation with this person. But anyway, they just put comments on like, you know, negative rep plays nurse, you know. So what I'm saying is just a simple example of like people don't like me because I play as the nurse. Like that's it. That's all it takes for them to not like me, and they express it. And it's like you're free to express that. You know, but if you say you're gonna come and kill me because I play the nurse, now you're like, now I think that's more along the lines of hate speech, in the sense that like you're actually posing a threat to someone. But just saying you don't like someone, and then that's the whole thing, is it's like, you know, for somebody to say like you're racist or something, well, how is that the case? Like, and then if I were to say like I have black friends, then they'll be like, oh well, you know, you think you got your black token friend just to prove that you're not racist, but it's all to show that, you know, it's all to cover up for your racism. It's like, you know, they'll come at you with anything, and then people just project whatever they want onto you. But like, I grew up in the 90s and I was bullied. And I think everyone has had an experience where they were bullied before in some way or another. Everybody's like, oh, well, I was bullied when I was a kid. Well, I think everybody at some point in some way or another in some situation has experienced being bullied or picked on.
I agree.
And just somebody calling me, just somebody like trash talking me because I play nurse, that's bullying. Just somebody, you know, canceling me because of my beliefs or something, like that's bullying. That's the whole cancel culture is just a big like bully squad. But you know, so I grew up in the time where it's like you either had thick skin or you got defeated, and I just chose to like stand my ground, and I was one of those people that like stood up for the kids that were bullied in school. You know, somebody would come and pick on somebody, well, I would stand up for them, because most bullies are just cowards anyway, the majority of them.
They just come across as really strong, like they're big and bad, but they're really weak inside. That is true.
Yeah, so like, and then having like 20 something YouTube channels and getting all kinds of comments on them, from like the nicest things to the meanest possible things people could say, and also having some family members who kind of, you know, talk down to me most of my life. Like, I just got thick skin when it comes to standing my ground for what I believe in and not letting people push me down or silence me. And that's why I also believe in free speech. You want to like hate me and bully me or put me down, like I can take it. And I'm not going to block you or ban you, or I mean, there comes a point where it's like, if all you're trying to do is, you know, there comes a point where it's like, okay, I'm kind of annoyed, like enough is enough. But like most people don't reach that point. Like literally on Facebook, I have nobody blocked. On Instagram, I have nobody blocked. On YouTube, I have nobody blocked. In Discord, nobody's blocked. Steam, like, my point is, on no social media do I have a single person blocked, because nobody has ever crossed that line to where it's like, okay, I've just really got to block this person. And if I have blocked somebody before, I unblock them like a day later. I only block them because it's like, just leave me alone for now. You're like really interfering. Like I don't have time for this. You're just like pestering me at the moment. Just go away. But then like, I'll unblock them. Like, you know, chat later if you want. But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yep.
Nobody reaches that point where they've offended me so much that I block them, because I'm just not offended by what people say or believe. If you have something valid to say it. And if it's reasonable, hey, convince me of it, and I'll change what I think, or tell me why, or give me some like logical reasons. And don't just tell me like, look at the facts. And I'm like, okay, what are the facts? Well, I'm not going to go over the facts with you, but you need to educate yourself and look at them. Well, newsflash, when you go to a court of law, right? You have a defense attorney and you have prosecution. And let's say it's a criminal trial and there's a defendant, a suspect whose life is on the line, whether they're guilty or innocent. You know, that's the determination that we're trying to make. Is this person guilty of the crime, or are they innocent of the crime? And what do you have? You have a bunch of facts and you have a bunch of evidence. And what happens? Prosecution gets up and says, well, Your Honor, these are the facts. And the jury, judge and jury, these are the facts. And the facts show that the defendant here is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And here are the facts, and here's why. You know? And then what happens? The defense gets up and says, well, Your Honor and jury, these are the facts, and here's why my client is completely innocent. And they look at the same facts and they interpret them completely differently.
That's true. But they still have to also prove what they call facts. They have to prove to the court, the jury, the judge, that they are viable facts, I guess, and they're proven to be real. If you can't do that, then yeah, you're not gonna win.
But you get what I'm saying? Is like, I'm saying that the same facts are being disputed, and you have two conflicting sides that are looking at the same facts, coming up with completely different conclusions based on the same facts.
Right.
One side is saying the facts prove my client is innocent, and the other side is saying the facts prove that this defendant is guilty. They're looking at the same facts. They're looking at like the same blood splatter evidence. And here's how it ended up on his shoes. The defense says it ended up on his shoes when he went to go save the victim from, you know, and the defense is like, no, it ended up on his shoes when he was swinging the bat because the way the blood dropped, you know. And they're looking at the same evidence and they're coming up with two different conclusions. And obviously they have a investment in the, you know, obviously they're invested in the outcome. But it's like saying how in science, you know, science supports whoever's funding them. If Monsanto is paying the scientific researchers to say that Roundup is not harmful, you know, they're the ones paying the researchers. The researchers are going to come back showing the conclusions that lean most in favor towards whoever paid them to say it. And as twisted as that is and how corrupt that is, that's just how a lot of things are. Now, it's up to the jury and the judge to sift through all that evidence and hear both sides of the case and to make a determination on, hey, who's really got the facts, who's really interpreting the facts correctly. But you imagine being in a court of law now where one side gets up and says, well, these are the facts and this is, and then the other one gets up and says, well, these are the, and the judge says, silence, you're not allowed to say anything, because we don't want to hear your interpretation and we don't want to hear your opinions. And, only one side gets to say its argument. And then, that's the way debating and arguing is in this generation. You don't win by actually having the facts support you or having reasonable logic in your corner. You win by silencing your opponent, by making sure that they can't speak, by discrediting them by saying, you're an awful person because you don't agree with me. You're a bigot, a racist, a homophobe, a transphobe. Right. Whatever, like you're this, you're that, and it's all about attacking the person's character to make sure that they don't have, like that they don't get heard. Anyway, that's my rant on that. I'm sure I'm not saying anything you don't already know.
Yeah, I know all of that. I know we're aware of how that all court system and how everybody tries to prove their side, but they have to either silence them, like you said, or prove their facts are true and get them convinced that your facts are the real facts, the true ones.
Yeah, and that's why you have the jury to really hear both sides to figure out, and then you got 12 people who are supposed to they're supposed to weigh it out and come to an agreement on it, and that's and that's the same with anything. Like that is the same with anything. You have like a geologist pick up a rock and say, oh, this rock is 65 million years old. And, someone else will pick it up and be like, it's probably like 4,000 years old. How can you tell? Well, we did the carbon dating and da-da-da-da-da. And like, well, but when you think about it, carbon dating can only date back such and such because this is how carbon dating works. And, but you just have, like, that's the whole point of debating and science is always changing, and that's the whole point of getting down.
I don't think science doesn't change.
Well,
the theories change, not science.
Yeah, well, the facts don't change, but science is people's way of trying to
understand
like the laws of nature, and
But yeah, I hear people say, I wanted to correct you, that science never changes.
Yeah, well,
it's
the science
theories that people think about, and they say, okay, is this true? Is this not true? And they prove it true or prove it false.
Yeah, it's like saying there's 3 sides to every story: my side, your side, and the truth. The truth never changes.
It's some different with science, I think. Like Einstein, he says that such and such existed, and then he had to prove it. He knew it existed, but he had to prove it.
Well, what I'm saying is that
some of the things
the truth doesn't change.
Some of the things he thought existed did not come to be what he was, so he had to change his views or theories.
Yeah, to match.
It's his information that changed based on the new information.
Yeah, so, well, what it is the truth doesn't change. The truth is the same.
But there's really no truth that you're looking for like that. It's different with science when you're trying to figure out something. You have to trial and error everything. So what seems to be true at first may be false in the end. And that's what changes.
That's what the scientific method is for.
Yes.
But some people will just say like, oh, it's a fact, it's scientific fact. And it's like,
but some people say that this is true and they'll prove it true. And they were true in the beginning. It was fact in the beginning, but they had to figure it out.